In the quiet town of Everwood, nestled between dense woods and rolling hills, a sinister presence lurked in the shadows. Residents lived unaware, going about their lives as the seasons changed. Unbeknownst to them, a delusional psychopath had taken residence among them, finding perverse pleasure in leaving a chilling signature on their darkest nightmares. It began with the disappearance of a local woman, Lily Miller. She was last seen leaving the town library, a place she frequented to escape the monotony of her life. Days turned into weeks, and whispers of her vanishing spread through Everwood like wildfire. The police were baffled, and the townsfolk grew uneasy. Then, the first body was discovered. The victim's lifeless form lay in the heart of the woods, surrounded by a macabre display. A single delicate white lily adorned the chest, a stark contrast to the brutality of the murder. The news spread like a contagion, injecting fear into the veins of the town. Detective Sarah Monroe, a seasoned investigator with a haunted past, took charge of the case. As she delved into the grim details, she discovered a pattern of heinous crimes stretching back years, each marked by the presence of a chilling signature, a pristine white lily. The psychopath, known only as the Florist in hushed conversations, reveled in the terror they instilled. The town, gripped by fear, turned into a breeding ground for paranoia. Friends eyed each other suspiciously, and every shadow seemed to conceal a potential threat. Sarah Monroe's investigation led her to the dark corners of the town, where secrets festered like a disease. As she unraveled the twisted web of the killer's psyche, she found that the Florist believed each murder was a work of art, a masterpiece meant to be appreciated. The choice of victims seemed arbitrary, driven by an insane desire to create chaos and despair. The town descended further into madness as the Florist continued their gruesome work. Each murder became more elaborate, the crime scenes resembling grotesque installations. The scent of fear permeated the air, and the once idyllic Everwood became a ghost town, haunted by the specter of a sadistic artist. Sarah, haunted by the horrors she uncovered, became a target herself. The Florist, reveling in the cat-and-mouse game, left cryptic messages for her, taunting her with the inevitability of her demise. The detective, driven by a mix of determination and desperation, chased the elusive killer through the labyrinth of shadows. As the town held its breath, Sarah closed in on the Florist's lair, a dilapidated mansion hidden deep within the woods. The air inside was thick with the stench of decay, and the walls seemed to pulse with malevolence. In the heart of the mansion, surrounded by withered lilies, Sarah confronted the psychopath. A chilling revelation unfolded as the Florist revealed a deranged obsession with the fragility of life. The killer saw themselves as a harbinger of beauty in the midst of chaos, a twisted artist seeking to immortalize the pain and suffering of their victims. In a final desperate struggle, Sarah subdued the Florist and brought an end to the reign of terror. The town, scarred by the horrors that unfolded, slowly began to heal. The memories of the Florist, however, lingered like a ghost, a dark stain on the tapestry of Everwood. The trial that followed was a spectacle that gripped the entire town. The evidence against the Florist was overwhelming, and Sarah Monroe, the lead investigator, presented a compelling case. The once confident killer, now unmasked as a psychopath, stared at the courtroom with eyes that betrayed a twisted satisfaction. As the guilty verdict echoed through the courtroom, a chilling revelation began to unfold. It was not just the florist on trial. It was Sarah Monroe herself. The evidence against her surfaced like a dark tide, revealing a web of deceit and manipulation. The townsfolk, initially relieved at the prospect of justice, now found themselves questioning the very person they had trusted to protect them. In a shocking turn of events, it was revealed that Sarah had orchestrated the entire series of murders. The florist was not a deranged stranger. It was a creation born from the depths of her disturbed mind. The white lilies, once a symbol of terror, were now a damning testimony to her malevolence. As the truth emerged, Everwood became a town gripped by a different kind of fear, the betrayal of one of their own. Sarah Monroe, once hailed as a hero, now stood accused of unspeakable crimes. The courtroom, once filled with relief, transformed into a cauldron of anger and disbelief. Sarah, unrepentant and defiant, reveled in the chaos she had unleashed. The trial became a spectacle that fascinated her, a twisted form of entertainment as she reveled in the shock and horror etched on the faces of the townsfolk. Her motives remained shrouded in darkness, a labyrinth of madness that defied understanding. The town, now haunted by the revelation, descended into chaos. Trust shattered like fragile glass, and the once tight community fractured into factions of suspicion and paranoia. Everwood, once a haven, now resembled a ghost town, haunted by the specter of a traitor. As Sarah Monroe was led away to face justice, the town struggled to rebuild. The wounds inflicted by the florist ran deep, but the scars left by Sarah's betrayal cut even deeper. The shadows that lingered in Everwood were not just remnants of a psychopath's legacy, but the echoes of a trust forever broken. As the seasons changed and the town attempted to heal, the legacy of Sarah Monroe and the florist remained etched in the collective memory of Everwood. The once quiet town, forever scarred by the sinister orchestrations of its own protector, faced an uncertain future, wondering if the shadows would ever release their grip on the fractured community.